So when we come into business, let's see, where's my co-host? When we come into business, we want to, let's see, are we gonna have this here? All right, well, while we're waiting for the slides to load up, how many people in the room have been in business for less than 30 days? Nobody. Oh, I got all the veterans in here tonight.
No, I haven't been in here that long.
Okay, how long have you been in the business?
Days. Just a little over 30 days.
A little under.
There's our slides. Awesome. All right, great. So for those of you who have been in the business for less than 30 days, then as I'm going through these slides, you're going to really be asking yourself the question, have I done that? Have I done that? Have I done that? Where am I at in the process? And for those of us who have been here a little bit longer, then we're listening to these slides in this class from a perspective of like, oh, okay, that's the piece that I'm missing when fast starting my new teammate. So it's very important in our business to get your new recruit off to a fast start. The golden rule here in WFG is that a recruit is not even a recruit until they have a recruit and both have gone through the 8 speed filters. So hopefully you're familiar with the terminology 8 speed filters, but if you're not, we're going to talk about it on the next slide here, all right? But you see those people at the bottom of that last slide, they're running, they're going. From the time you sign up with WFG, that should be your life. You should never be kicked back and casual. You should be running. Next step, next step, next step. So what are the filters and how do you get off to a fast start? Well, first off, somebody calls you up and they say, hey, I'm excited, I'm in training and I need your help, right? You come down to the BPM, you see the information, you're fired up, excited. How can I be down? And the next thing you know, you're getting booked for your fast start appointment, right? You stayed after the corporate overview and did what we call MoZone. So everybody in here should understand what MoZone is. It's the momentum zone. It means that you were intrigued, you're hanging out after, you want to talk to people, you have questions. That's the first filter. The second filter is that you're so intrigued that you actually pick up an information kit. Now, when we were in the offices, we used to have really beautiful little kits that we would give to our guests, but now that we're virtual, you'll just have to check with your SMD to see what that kit looks like. But a lot of us are sending out either an email through our campaign manager or something of that nature. So whatever that kit looks like for you and your team, make sure that when you get your guests to the presentation that you're following up with some sort of an information for them to review between the time that you leave them at the business presentation and the time that you meet back together with them within 24 to 48 hours during business hours for that follow-up interview. So that is filter number 2. You also want to commit to a follow-up meeting, right? You want them to commit to a time within 24 to 48 hours during business hours is really ideal. And I know that Rich Stalley, if you've heard him speak in the past, you know, people sometimes will have trouble getting in, especially if they have full-time jobs. But we have to create a sense of urgency because I'm sure that all of you guys would agree that people make time to do the things that they really want to do, right? I mean, if they wanted to go to a concert or if they wanted to go on a trip, they would take off work, or, you know, if they wanted to meet somebody for lunch or even go on another job interview because they want to get out of the position they're in, they would take a longer lunch. They would figure it out. So that's the same thing they need to do with us. We need to hold a high standard for our business and really know the value of the opportunity that we're presenting. We want to challenge them to make time. Hey, when can you rearrange your schedule to come in for this follow-up meeting within 24 to 48 hours during business hours? So that's the third filter. Now, once we sit down with them, you're going to go through that return interview. We're going to get to know them a little better. And not only are they interviewing us, which they think they're interviewing us, but we're interviewing them, right? We're sitting there and we're looking to get to know about their integrity. Do they care about people? What about this business intrigues them? And we want to find out if we feel that they're a good fit for our business and for our team. And if that's the case, we both feel the same mutually, then we're going to go ahead and do that membership agreement. We're going to collect that $100, get them in their course, and we're going to be off to the races. Now, The fifth filter is that we want to always meet with the partner. If they're married or a significant other, there's someone else that's heavily involved in their decision making. We want them to be present for that next appointment where we're meeting with the partner and creating their business plan. We're developing their prospect list, which is their organized pool of inventory that we're going to help them to start their business with. And honestly, you guys, the fast start appointment, that meeting with the partner and developing that business plan and prospect list is probably the single most important appointment that we have, because this is where we're getting them into the mindset of our business. This is where we're showing them the bigger picture. This is when we're talking to them about their goals and their dreams and why they need to succeed in this business. But we're also going to get some commitments. We're going to find out how much time during the week they have available to work this business, how much they're going to commit to, what days are they going to come to classes, all of these different things. How much money do they need to make, so that we can back engineer and really put together a plan that's going to help them be successful. Now, we also want to, during this appointment, we want to challenge them to hit their promotions as well and give them exactly what it takes for that to make that happen. Now, after we sit and meet with the spouse, we put together that prospect list and, you know, go through the baseball example and the restaurant example and really paint this big picture for them of what's possible with this business. Now we want to actually help that family, right? We don't actually help ourselves unless we help a family. And so we want to sit down, we want to walk them through this process of the financial needs analysis, not only to sell them a product, but to also walk them through the process of what we're going to be doing with clients when they're out on their field training. Then they're not surprised, right? We do it with them, they're impressed, they're excited, they see the process, and that's building their belief so that they'll want to get out in the field faster. All right, so that's a very important step. Now, obviously, if there's a suitable product and a need, then we're going to go ahead and make them a client as well, because there's nothing like sitting across the kitchen table during a field training appointment and somebody turns and says, oh, this is awesome. Now, what do you have? And you sit there and go, well, we don't want that. We want you to be in integrity with what we're doing out in the field. And we want you to be able to confidently say, hey, I have this or I have that. So you all understand, right? Now, once we do your personal financial needs analysis and you see that whole process and you're all fired up about it, now we want to match you up with a field trainer and get you out in front of real people. This is where the belief in our business builds so much, and you just find yourself so fired up you can't even sleep at night. Let us help that first client, right? Just seeing people light up as you're going through the concepts and doing their financial needs analysis. But this is also where you're going to learn the business. I mean, in licensing, you're learning the language of insurance and you're learning law, but in the field is where you're actually learning the power of this vehicle that you've had this great opportunity to plug into. And then lastly, we want to lock that commitment in, and we want to ensure that we're going to retain our new teammate, right? Our new business partner. The only way that we're going to be able to change their life is if they stick around for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. This is not a get rich quick type of organization. It takes work, right? You've got to be out there really serving families, not only putting plans in place, but also making sure that they're plans that they're going to value and keep long term. So with that said, we want to get you out to our big events. This is where the business comes to life, right? Because up until that point, they may just be hanging out with, you know, them and their field trainer, or maybe the people in their office, although right now we're in Zoom land. But typically we're just in our office or with our field trainer. And when we go to the bigger events, now we see the vastness of this business. We see the diversity within the business. We get to hear stories of people that have been successful in this very vehicle. So we want to get them to that next event, and we want to register them immediately because that locks in their commitment. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. Thank you. Now, with that said, we talked about challenging them. What are we challenging them to? So one of the things we really have to work on in this business is mindset, because some people are coming from an employee mentality in which they're used to being told what to do. So we want to also tell them what to do, but we're telling them what to do for their own good, right? It's our job to help you get what you want. And with that said, we need to stretch our vision and we need to have higher standards, right, for ourselves. So we want to actually ask the question, hey, you know, do you see yourself as someone who would get off to a slow start with 3 business partners, 3 families helped within 30 days? Do you see yourself as someone who would be a fast starter, 5 families helped, 5 business partners within the first 30 days in business? Or are you someone, a superstar, a rock star, the rock star that I see you to be, that can go out there and actually have 10 people that believe in you and what you're doing so much that they'll come into business with you, as well as helping their family, protecting their family. So 10, 10, 30 within 30 days. And we want to find out who they see themselves as, but we also want to try to reinforce who we see them as. Pour our belief into them, right? Because the first 30 days in our business is pivotal. The leader alone is the one who's going to set the standard for excellence. So if all we do is talk about 3-3-30, guess what? That's all they're going to be running for. And if they don't hit it, then they fell short. Whereas if we set a high standard and challenge them to go out and do 10-10-30, then even if they fail miserably, they're going to hit 3-3 or 5-5, right? So we're not overselling. We're just, we want to have more belief in our new teammates than they even have in themselves. So with that said, once we get started in business, we've gotten through that fast start. If we do all those things within 7 days, we actually get recognition. One of the things I love about this company, and it's funny because I never cared about recognition. I've always been solopreneur, put your head down, don't look left, don't look right, just get the job done. And in this business, you get more recognition here in the first 7 days of being in business than you probably did your entire career in corporate America. And so even those of us who don't feel like we need recognition, I get fired up. The first time they called my name at a Wealth Bowl for one of the categories, I was like, ah! Like I acted a complete doggone fool. You understand me? And ever since then, for a person who didn't really consider herself competitive, I've now become competitive. So in our business, we have 3 priorities that we want to focus on at all times. And the first thing is that we want to become a student of the business, right? You don't want to just be fumbling around, not really knowing what's going on. You want to understand the language of WFG, the language of our business format system, the language of insurance, so that you can be a great student of that system, follow that system impeccably, and create the success that this platform was designed to give you. So we got to lay those foundations. The second thing that we want to focus on is that we want to make money at whatever level we're at. I don't know about you, but in our team, we are encouraging people. You need to go out there and get licensed within the first 1, 2, 3 weeks in business tops. Why? Because you could love the environment, love your mentor, love the music, love the energy, but after a little while, if you're not getting paid, that excitement is going to fade. Right? I mean, we devote a lot of ourselves to this business. It's an amazing thing when it's giving us a return. So we want to make money. It doesn't matter if you're a TA, A, SA, MD, SMD, it doesn't matter. And then we also want to make sure that we're constantly fighting for our next promotion. If you're already a TA or you come in as a TA, you want to fight for your associate. Some people get to MD and they get comfortable, right? They've got a higher contract. You don't want to do that. You want to constantly be striving and pushing, not for everybody else, but for yourself. You want to be pushing to break through your next level so that you can become that upgraded higher self that you deserve to be. All right, so fight for your next promotion. Next slide, please. All right, so with that said, I mentioned earlier the 7-Day Fast Start Award, and I can't see everybody, but if you got your 7-Day Fast Start Award, I want you to not raise 1 hand, but raise 2, because you guys are awesome. As a matter of fact, they say that those people who get through that those speed filters within the first 7 days, they usually become like the superstars in our business. We know they're going to stick around. It tells us that they're coachable, right? Because they did their AMA, They got their 25 list done. Good job, Miss Chalet. I know you're a rock star. They got their 3 guests to the BPM or did a one-on-one within their first week. Now we have these launch parties, which makes it almost impossible. Good job, Jordan. Good job. I missed the other name. But we have these launch parties that make it almost impossible for you not to get your sprint award as long as you follow your leader, right? Complete that financial needs analysis. Make sure that you're getting into your course. We don't even say you have to necessarily set a date depending on the team you're on. We like to try to get people to go ahead and set that date as well so you have something to work towards. And then again, registering for that big event. What this shows us as SMDs and trainers is that you're committed. Because you know what, guys? We don't get paid to train you. Believe it or not, we don't get paid to train you, but we want to pour our time, energy into you because, again, we're in a push-pull business, right? Push up, pull up business. And if I help you be successful, it's going to help me be successful. Challenge being when you're recruiting the way we should be, double digit every single month, now we have to have a system for figuring out who to spend our time with and who to pour into. All right, so that 7-day sprint award is very important. And whether you got it or not, you still can be a superstar here. But for those of you who did it, congratulations. Next slide, please. So the power and purpose of big events. And we chose this beautiful picture with Dan Charlier on stage because I've been here for what, 20 years? Don't tell anybody. I've been here for 20 years, on and off, right? And I can't tell you how much this business gets into my blood, into my cells every single time I go to a big event. Seeing the people on stage that have been in business 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. It's the stories. It really locks in that belief that I too can do this. I too can be a giant in this business. The energy, the crowds, the associations. I mean, where else can you go and be in a room full of people where to make $100,000 is almost looked down upon, right? Like, think about that. Most companies, they may have 5 people who make a six-figure income, and here it's like the standard, like the low standard at that. So we really have to not take this business for granted. Be in gratitude every time there's an event. You should be the first one to sign up for that event. That's called leadership, because your teammates are going to do 100% of what you do right and what you do wrong. So when we talk about big events, we mean the business presentation meetings. Yes, BPMs are a big event. What's the purpose? Because we need to resell you the dream, teach you how to sell the dream, and then also teach you, resell the dream to yourself, sell the dream to the new teammates, and then also teach you how to sell the dream. So for all of you guys that are jumping on the BPMs on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, whether you have guests or not, you're actually giving yourself an edge. Stay in the environment. We also have our grand openings, our launch parties, upstart schools, fast start schools, so many different things, our national conventions, and then our wealth bowls. You know, it's not just about the recognition, it's about the education, the stories, the associations, everything. So again, don't take that for granted. Next slide, please. Now we're going to talk about the why. When we're sitting with our new teammates, we really want to get into their world and find out what it is that they want, but also why they want it. And for some reason, this is one of the hardest things for people to do, is to connect with their why, but it's also the most powerful thing that we do here in business. So once we understand their goals, their SMART goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, that's how we're going to be able to put together a business plan that has the horsepower to take them to their dreams. This is our leverage. You want to find out what's at stake if you don't achieve these goals. And then you want to make a commitment to your new teammate to make it happen for them. Next slide. So the keys to success, we want to make sure that you understand that you have to tough it out through the discomfort, awkwardness, uneasiness, and fear of everything to win in this business. We have to overcome ourselves, you guys. Sometimes we mistake fear and excitement. right? Or anxiousness. It's the same feeling you get during Christmas, right? It feels butterflies in your stomach, but some people translate as fear. Lean into it, right? Conquer it. Remember that people who want to be comfortable, who want to have it easy most of the time, will probably never make their dreams come true. Be a crusader. Get the mission of our company in your heart. I don't have time to tell my story, but everybody here has one. Take the time to get to know your business partners, your leadership. Find out what their stories are. And if you don't have a story yourself that connects you to our mission personally, then go borrow somebody else's. But get fired up, because we literally change people's lives here. Remember why you came here and remind yourself continually of that compelling why. And then trust that you can do it. You know, out in the real world, right? Like I like to say, out in the real world, everybody wants to tell us why we can't do certain things. They want to tell us that we're crazy, right? That we're unrealistic. All of these different things that they want to tell us in the outside world. Here, everybody's calling you into your greatness beyond even what you may be able to comprehend at this moment. This is a very special and unique platform, and I definitely want you all to make sure that you understand and take that to heart. Next slide, please. So doubt will kill more dreams than failure ever will. This business is not just financial services, it's also a business of personal development. We like to call it a personal development business with a nice compensation plan attached. Not only personal development for you, but you also get to transfer that to your teammates and every single client whose life you're gonna touch through our great business. So with that said, I wanna make sure that if there's any questions, that we have a few minutes, 2 minutes it looks like, to answer questions. And I wanna make sure that everybody gets some value, something that they can take with them from this class. So if you have a question, unmute and I will answer your questions. Popcorn style. Michelle A?
I don't have a question, but I just want to say I love the energy that you bring to the room every time. Like, you're like a whole ray of sunshine all by yourself. And I was so excited to take this class today. Like, I'm so eager to have some time with you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much. I was so nervous to do this on Zoom. So this is awesome. I made it. I'm still alive. And I just asked Lori, asked Jordan. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Anyhow, this was amazing. Again, lean into things that are uncomfortable. This is how we grow. I so appreciate you all for being on the call this evening. I hope you took lots of notes, kind of identify some things that maybe you're not doing or that you haven't done as of yet. Get together with your SMD, your trainer, make those tweaks and refinements, and let's go kill it together. Yes. So at this time, I believe there's going to be a countdown, and we're going to get kicked out of this room and go back into the main room. If you're in Elite Circle, please make sure that you stick around so that you do the ending poll. I want all of us to not only survive, but thrive in Inner Circle, right? That's right, Carolyn, yes!
You were awesome, Patrina.
What was that?
You were awesome. I love your energy.
Thank you. Whoever
awesome.
said, I think
Awesome
that was
class.
Elizabeth, right?
Elizabeth,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys.
Okay, good job, Patrina, good job.
Thank you, Vic. Good job.
You know what? You just nailed it down, because you said you were nervous to teach this, but you didn't let your nervousness become a fear and take you down. And
No.
thank you. You just nailed it. And thank you. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo! Thank you, Vic.
Okay.
Patrina, this is
Thank you, Patrina.
hey, I think you have a few minutes left still, and I was wanting to ask you, you are one of the top recruiters in the whole hierarchy right now. What are some of the things that you and your team are doing that are helping you to grow and attract people to the business right now?
I would really attribute it to identity and the belief in our business. So everything I just talked about with the fast start, if the more belief and conviction you have in your business, it comes through in your fast start. One of the things that I'm doing now is that I used to, just hire people, like, okay, do the interview, get to know them, whether I felt good about them or not, I would hire them. I don't do that anymore. I will tell somebody straight out, now listen, we hold a high standard, right? It says it on the paper, we hold a high standard. What are you going to bring to the company? And I'll tell them straight out. I'll say, listen, I don't work with everybody. I don't want to work with everybody. I'm looking for people looking for me, because once we start in business, we're married and I can't get rid of you. I think that energy really has been helping, because we've been attracting the most phenomenal teammates who are ready to go, and they're matching energy, whether they're technical, strategy, action, relationship, doesn't matter, because they're meeting us in the energy of the collective. And then just really doing an effective fast start. It's so important. Sometimes it takes a long time and it can be kind of grueling with certain people, but you just got to do it. If you fast start them right, you don't have to worry about the rest. So that would be my number one.
Awesome.
A hand raised from Carol Simmons.
Carol Simmons! You have to unmute. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, honey.
Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, perfect. I'm trying to avoid feedback. I just want to say, first of all, you are so cheery and joyful, and you know, just make everybody smile the whole time we're sitting here. But I wanted to reflect on the fact that you said, trust that you can do it.
Right.
I want you to know, I'm trusting that I can do this. I have a couple of reasons why. One being my own personal reason why, but then I'm in elite circle. I have to do it. And elite circle will make you go from 0 to hero in no time flat. So thank you. That's where I am, and thanks for your energy.
Absolutely. Yes. You know, I think self-doubt is the thing that kills all of us. Self-doubt. Oh, I don't know enough. Oh, I don't sound right. It doesn't matter. Like, I've seen so many people fumble through appointments and still close, like, you know, still help the families, still get the recruit, because people can relate to that. You know, someone like me who's been a professional speaker and all of these things, sometimes people look at me and go, oh, I can't be you, so I don't think I should do the business. So it actually works against me at times. So if you have some nervousness, some fumbleness, some awkward, use it to your advantage, right? Like, yeah, great. This is a way that they're going to connect with me. So, and if you're, you know, someone who's like me, who's really bubbly and all these things, some people go, I can never do this the way you do it. And I'm like, you don't have to. That's the great news. You know, we need all personalities for all different types of people. So. Anybody
Hey, Patrina, great. This is Dr. Burns.
Hi, Ed.
Good. How you doing? I'm out in Arizona right now.
Yes, awesome.
Great. Hey, awesome job. I really got a great understanding of what you were saying. I really appreciate it. And keep the energy going. Keep it going.
Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you, Patrina. It's Princess.
See you,
pretty. Pretty amazing sitting and learning. I see you from a distance, but for a long time, you know, I've admired you and definitely want to emanate what you do. So thank you.
You've got it. You're on your way, girl. You're the next giant out of bum stank wherever you are.
Hey.
I don't even
know. It's the boonies. But listen, I always tell you guys, the rabbits were better in the dirt. So look. But you told me, you passed by, I guess it was last year sometime, and you said, where you live? And I was like, I don't know, Lancaster. You go, they got an office out there. I was like, I don't know. And you just looked at me, you was like, you need to be thinking about something. And I was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay. But I'm just enjoying the ride. Again, Vincent, always excellent, and just to be better, you know, I'm this whole company and seeing, like, tasting the fruit of others, you know, just like, oh wow, what's this? And it's just popping inside of me, like, oh. So I can't wait to see
I know, I see you with all your activity, trying out there being a boss.
I'm trying, but I'll receive that. I'll take that.
Yes, no more trying. You're doing.
Get that jacket on. You see, I don't have no jacket on yet. So that's it. But I appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, does anybody have something they heard today that they feel like, oh, that was the piece I needed?
Hi, can I say something?
Yes.
Hi, Patrina. That's so funny you just said that because I wrote down a whole page of notes right now, and it's so funny because I literally wrote in caps, like the last 5 little nuggets was like, make money, get licensed, learn the BFS, survive and thrive, trust that you can do this, kill self-doubt, and it's about helping the families. So I appreciate everything that you said because literally I'm just gonna like keep telling myself this every single day because your energy and your momentum and your positivity literally is like flowing through the screen. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Don't let you get in your way. Don't let you get in the way of helping the families that need to be helped, because that means you're focusing on yourself, and that's selfish. We're in this business to be a vessel of transformation, and we're doing it through financial services, but the financial services really isn't the real thing. The way we change their lives is not only by putting a plan in place for them, but really by bringing them into the business and giving them an opportunity to have these associations and the knowledge and everything that we have, and to be able to create that income to then fund all of the things that we're putting in place. So good job. Are you newer or have you been here a while? Sorry.
I've been here a while. Well, maybe almost a year, but
Okay.
I got to Elite Circle, and like you were saying and other people were sharing, like as soon as I like heard Elite Circle, I was like, okay, I'm in with the big dogs now. I gotta really get this rolling. So
good job.
Yeah.
Good job. That takes courage. Yeah. I have somebody in Elite Circle right now that's been in business with us for less than 2 months. So just do it. Jump in.
Thank you.
Good job.
I wanted to say one more thing that you said is about the goals and the commitments and then the drive. You know, what's at stake if you don't hit your goals? And I was listening to one of my downlines today. We were talking, and she said to the client, hey, you said you wanted to do these things, but you haven't started yet. And I thought to myself, there's no repercussions for not doing it. We just live our lives. We go to work. We get told when to clock in. We get told when to go. And nothing changes, and we're just satisfied. But we need to stop being satisfied. There needs to be a consequence for when we don't hit our goals. And I know this was supposed to be for the recruit, but this is for me. Like, if I don't hit my goals, I need some sort of consequence. Like, I need you and Vincent to hold me accountable and be like, what, girl, what is your problem? Like, get it together. Yeah. And I think Elite Circle and those fines and those strikes are going to be for me.
And we all go through it, Michelle. We go through it at every level. I had a conversation with Dan today where he was like, what's up, P? He's like, you should be making, X amount of money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know, I'm so frustrated. Only in our business, right? Like, oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm not making $1 million. And, but what it is that we get comfortable, right? So we hit that next level, and then we get comfortable and we plateau, just like with our weight. Right? And so someone to push us, and we break through again to another level, and then we plateau. So that's the beauty of having this community to hold us accountable. But we have to be open to the accountability. And I'll be honest, I didn't become accountable until probably the last year. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I'm like, I don't need you telling me nothing. But the more we become a student of the business, and the more that we become coachable to our leadership and become accountable to our leadership and our upline, downline, sidelines, everybody else, the faster we're going to all become more successful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to add to when you talked about getting out of your own way. Let me see what I wrote. When you said, well, when the screen said, that doubt kills dreams, more dreams. And there was a time in my life that I was so confident, I'm not afraid to talk to nobody. I had it before.
And you are now? And you are
now?
No,
I'm not afraid. But what it was there's a period where there was no Facebook Live. There was no Instagram. But I was on my flip phone, and I'm talking to people on YouTube, or, I'm doing my own little videos. And I went through a slump, because of what I was going through from a divorce and everything like that. So my self-esteem, everything just sunk. And I know one day, I just put this book out, right? This kid's book, and I videotaped myself. And after I was like, ooh, wait a minute. Because I've been judging how I see myself. And so for the first time, I was looking at myself with a different set of eyes. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I need to be doing these live. I need to be talking to people what I'm doing here at WFG. And I know it's a difference. There is a difference. The magnet that, like I see you draw, you know, as well as with the personality I have, but I kind of shoved it in a corner. So I think that fear, getting past it, will definitely help me personally, you know, but just for everybody, whatever that one thing is, to push past it. But no, I am never afraid to talk to anyone. I'll talk to the baby and tell the baby, tell the mama. Tell the mama, drop the bottle so the mama could get the bottle and get it by me. So no.
Yes. Well, we do a disjustice to everybody around us when we don't, you know, shine our light, when we're not all of ourselves. So don't put yourself in a box in certain situations. Yeah, we're in financial services, but I definitely came here to shake shit up.
Yeah, no, with this recent post, I had people that I had no idea. I had someone who I AMA'd, and she didn't do anything. Matter of fact, she called and told me, you know, Prime America had some guy she knew, and I put that post, I sent it to her, and she has probably 3,000 followers. And I was just in my messenger at midnight. And sure enough, she shared it. And she was like, oh, no problem. I was like, oh, okay. So yes, I'm moving everything else out the way so I can be where I need to be.
Fantastic. Good job. Well, I'm excited to see everybody get their promotions and their rings and all of us be in Hawaii together. Who's fighting for Hawaii? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think that it would be phenomenal to see a bunch of familiar faces right in the inner circle here. That would be so much fun. I've been on the trips before and I'm fighting to get back. So yeah. Now, if you guys already went through this class on Saturday, I'll be teaching step 6 duplication. So if you want to play with me on Saturday, feel free. Miss Carol, you got a question?
Actually, you said, did anybody get anything out of this? Can you close yours? And what I wanted to share that I did appreciate hearing you say was make money at every level and then next promotion. Now, I've heard it before. I mean, nobody teaches, you guys teach all the same things, the same in the BFS. You teach it every time, but you know, like Vincent likes to call it parent deaf. But making money at every level really is encouraging to stay. The goal is to never leave. I'm not going to leave, and that's my mission, and I preach that to everybody. But the best part about it is you can make money at every level, and it just gets bigger. As you grow, the money gets bigger, and it gets nicer, and it eventually becomes more frequent. But making money at every level is very good. I thank you for saying that tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that feedback. And if we really put things in perspective, the money that most people are making here with WFG is extra money, right? So when you hear somebody made an extra 12,000, an extra 18,000, an extra 25,000 a month, right? So it's pretty mind-blowing when you really look at the bigger picture of what we have in front of us.
And we are 8 o'clock. Time to get back and get that sign.
Now, do I have to do something to get us back?
Nope. Everybody would just see a button in the bottom right of the room that says leave.
For you, Patrina.
Yes.
I absolutely love, you know, I've been channeling with the halo ever since, you know. I appreciate you reminding about the challenge of the slow start, the fast start, and the super start, and how that ties into your conviction, because when you have that conviction and it's gone from your head to your heart, you don't mind challenging someone to really open their mind and really reach for their goals. So I just really appreciated that reminder to challenge people and enroll them in the vision. And also about sometimes a fast start takes some time. You got to work with them and work through the person. And I love sitting there with people and just going through it. But I can appreciate hearing you say that you take that time because it is so important. So I really appreciated your training tonight. I actually have my phone so that my new recruit can see it because she couldn't get in, so that she could see it. And you
Yeah.
said all the key words about the associations, because she's in the dark. She's still trying to figure out what's going on, but hearing everybody on here tonight talk about the associations and the energy. She's on a third party watching this and she felt it, you know, so I
Okay,
appreciate it.
Elite Circle, you have to go back to do your log out quiz poll. So
Okay.
please don't
So do
forget.
we all just press leave? Is that how